Hey everyone, welcome back to some more ZX-4RR fun. We're going to install some more parts today. Today it's a brake master cylinder from Craftman for the Galespeed elaborate brake master cylinder that I got from Graves. I originally was using this Galespeed reservoir with the tube and the Graves mount to mount it on the triple clamp. But with my new Bonamici triple clamp, I want to kind of clear this area up, so I'm going to put an integrated reservoir right here instead of the tube that comes over here and sits over on the triple clamp. So, you know, WeBike sells this kit. Here's what you get. I'll link to in the description below. But it's this little anodized tank, and I was worried about it fitting because, you know, when you take off the original reservoir, you have the Galespeed Brake Master, which has the supply feed line here and then a bleed. And I didn't know how this was going to mount without interfering. And, well, the answer came when I saw the part. Basically, it covers both these ports. You're going to, you know, use a variety of O-rings and adapters to adapt it to the supply side. And then this bolt here, the bleed bolt, which is very useful on these masters, is the highest point, is going to get replaced with this other bleed bolt, which not only allows you to bleed the master still, but also secure this reservoir tightly onto the bike. So I've already removed, as you can see, the hose in the old reservoir. I've loosened up this bleed bolt, so we'll go ahead and take that off. And now we got to assemble some pieces on this Billet black master reservoir before it can go on and slide on. And so they send you bunch of instructions in Japanese, and luckily I just used Google Translate. No big surprises there. So we'll just go through and show you the steps that you have to take to put this all together. So the first thing is that on the forward port for the brake, you got this big O-ring. This is going to go inside this hole right here. And I think I'm going to go get some brake grease, so I'll be right back. Let me go get a little bit of brake grease so that slides in there real nice and seals up real good. All right, here's my brake grease. It's this Ate stuff that I've been using for years. This tube is so huge. I didn't realize when I bought it was going to be so huge. I've had it for a long time. But when you're replacing seals and stuff like that and brake calipers and master cylinders, this grease is brake fluid safe and meant for lubricating stuff like these O-rings. So what we'll do is we'll just put a dab of it on there, and this bottle is this tube is so big. I mean, my ancestors will be still working to try and empty this tube. I just don't do that much brake stuff. So with the grease, you'll see it just pops in and it goes in place in there. There you go. Let's wipe up the excess. So now that we got that in there, the next step is going to be this bolt, and you can see this is the bolt that replaces the bleeder, and it has a 7mm bleed on top, and so you still get the bleeder function, but it's going to seal up the reservoir. So this goes right inside there like that, copper washer underneath, and then this aluminum crush washer goes right there, and then this adapter is going to go on that stem, and it's all going to mount right on the Galespeed reservoir. So let's go check it out. So the first thing we do is we'll just plop that adapter piece right there. If you can see, fits perfectly. And then now we're going to push this on, making sure the O-ring stays seated. Oh yeah, nice fit. Okay, and now I got to go get a wrench and just very carefully and slowly thread this bolt into where the bleeder used to be. So let me work on that and I'll come right back to you guys. All right, so to get this kind of bleed bolt replacement in, you want to take out the 7mm head bleed bolt out of the top, and then you use a box end 8mm to just slowly start getting this thing on. Make sure that you put the O-ring into the reservoir first and then pop it on. If it pops off into the other part first, it won't be seated right into the unit. So I'm going to keep going, get this thing tightened up, and then we'll put this bleeder in. Okay, it's all cinched down, and you can see The old bleed bolt area is now this bolt that secures through this master reservoir, and really slick. Everything looks good. Now that this thing is secure, and I really like the shape of it. Look at that, it's so tiny. I'm going to go ahead and put this bleed bolt in, and then we'll start putting in some O-rings. Now that the bleed bolt is in, I grab the large O-ring and you just feed it into the reservoir. It's very lightly greased with that Ate paste. You don't need a lot. You see it just fits in there perfect. Next, you go ahead and grab the kind of reservoir mid piece, and you're going to want to grab these two O-rings here, and you're going to put them in on the underside where the screws bolt, so you can see right here if I don't lose them. There you go. And then as those are in, you're going to place this right on the reservoir. Make sure everything's seated nice. And then you're going to grab the two screws, and we're going to secure the reservoir down. Oop, without moving anything. Let's just see if we can get this done without screwing it up, huh? There we go. Yeah, everything feels good. I don't like to tighten them up until we get them started. And now that O-ring is sealing this little intermediate kind of cover on the reservoir. We'll just cinch that down a little bit here. Nice and even. All right. There you go. So now we got our little reservoir. We'll clean it up a little bit here. All right, now that's it. All we have to do is fill this thing up with fluid and bleed it. And in order to do that, I need to tilt this master up so everything is level. So let me go do that, and we'll be back. I've tilted it up, so now it's relatively level. This bleed bolt is a 7mm, and I'm using a box end to get in there. It looks like that'll work. Just enough room to get in. So what I'll do is I'll fill it up now and bleed it off, and then we'll put the cover on and call it a day. All right, so now I just filled up with a little fluid, and I just want to show you the bleeding that's happening out of it. Oh, looks like it's working. All right. There we go. Okay, let's tighten up that bleeder bolt and see if we have a good... So I just want to take a second to talk about this design, which I've never seen before. The bleeder for the master is submerged in the reservoir. And so what that means is, in order to bleed this master cylinder, all you do is open up that bleeder, pull the lever, and you watch the bubbles come out, and the whole bolt is submerged in the reservoir. It's a fantastic design. I've never seen this before. I've never even thought of it, but it's a fantastic way to do this without any mess, without any extra tools, extra need for a receptacle. Anyway, I have a firm lever. Everything's great. Now all that's left is to put in this little, looks like a Brembo brand diaphragm, which is cool. Put that in. Then we put this little plastic reinforcement. And now we just grab the cover, and the billet cover goes on, and now we put on the final two bolts here. Let's get these on. May have to eventually upgrade these little countersunk screws to titanium just because I like titanium. That's it. Look at that. I think this is just fantastic. Let's wipe it down and take a final look here. We've got ourselves a nice little master. So that's it. If you want a Galespeed elaborate master cylinder from Graves, and you want to put an integrated billet reservoir, WeBike's got it. I'll put a link in the description. No affiliation. I just like these parts, and just showing folks what it's like to install them. So, you know, if you like the video, comment down below, and please subscribe and like the video so we can get some more ZX4 content going. Thanks, everyone.